Hello and welcome to all students. In this lecture, we learn about measures of central tendency and we study the merits and demerits of averages. Okay, so let us start. First of all, we see some introductions. In introductory part, we know that up to now we have studied measures of the central tendency of the given data. So what are these measures? First measure is arithmetic mean. Second measure is weighted arithmetic mean. Next we studied the measure uh, mode. Then we have studied a median. After that we studied quartiles. Then we studied percentiles, deciles. So all these measures we have studied in the uh, previous lectures. Okay, so in this lecture we discuss about the merits and demerits of all these um, averages. Okay, so let us start the merits of the arithmetic mean. Merits means some positive points. So merit means some positive points about the arithmetic mean, and demerits means some negative points of the arithmetic mean. So first of all, we see some positive points of arithmetic mean. So first is, it is rigidly defined. It is rigidly defined. Rigidly defined means it has a perfect definition. Okay, so for any given data we can find arithmetic mean, and it has a perfect definition to find the arithmetic mean. So we recall the definition of the arithmetic mean. If we have n observations, x1 comma x2 comma x3 comma dot 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 xn, n observations, then we know that the uh, exact definition of arithmetic mean of these n observations, and that definition is x bar is equal to x1 plus x2 plus dot 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 up to plus xn and whole divided by n. So this has a rigid definition. Okay, and it is defined for for any given number of observations. So has a perfect definition. Now this is the very important merit, or we can say a positive point, very important positive point of the arithmetic mean. Now second is, it has a definite mathematical formula and it can be easily computed. So आताच आपण तो डेफिनाइट मॅथमॅटिकल फॉर्म्युला सांगितलेला आहे. इट हॅज ए डेफिनाइट मॅथमॅटिकल फॉर्म्युला अँड इट कॅन बी इझिली कम्प्युटेड. So computation of arithmetic mean is also very easy. Okay, if we have given n numbers, then just add these n numbers and divide by n, means the total number of observations. That is the very easy computation of arithmetic mean. It is based on all the observations. So arithmetic mean, when we calculate the arithmetic mean, we take into the consideration all observations. So with, if we miss one observation, then the arithmetic mean is different. Then therefore, to calculate the arithmetic mean, we have to take in consideration all observations. Okay, don't miss a single observation. So it is based on all the observations or all given values. Now fourth positive point or fourth merit of the arithmetic mean is it is more stable than any other average, and this arithmetic mean is more stable than the remaining averages. Okay, now fifth merit of this arithmetic mean or this average is it can be easily adapted for further statistical analysis. Means it can be easily used for the further calculation of the statistical analysis. That is also very important. Now we see some demerits of the arithmetic mean. Demerits means some negative points of the arithmetic mean. So first is it is highly affected by abnormal values. Highly affected by abnormal values means, suppose there is one value which is abnormal, means it is out of the range of given data, then that arithmetic mean is affected by that value also. Okay, so for example, see here one example is given here. The arithmetic mean of values 1, 3, 4, 5, 82 is, so that arithmetic mean is given x bar is equal to 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 82 whole divided by 5, and that arithmetic mean is equal to 19. Okay, so we observe here, so maximum data is in the range of 1 to 5. Okay, so maximum data is in the range of 1 to 5. So we expect that our expectation is the arithmetic mean must be in the range of 1 to 5. Okay, that is our expectation, but there is one abnormal value and that value is 82, and it is very away from the remaining data. It is very away, or it is far away from the remaining data. That's why the arithmetic mean is shifted from in the range of 1 to 5 to the number 19, which is away from the range of 1 to 5. So that's why arithmetic mean is affected by a single abnormal value. Okay, so see here. Okay, understood. So this is, so once again see here, once again, so in this given example, so maximum data is in the range of 1 to 5, so our expectation must be the average must lies or should lies in the range of 1 to 5, but there is one abnormal value 82 which is very away from, or it is so far from this range 1 to 5. That's why this, so that value affects on the arithmetic mean of this data. Okay, so if you remove this value 82, then what will happen? Then the arithmetic mean will be in the range of 1 to 5. So due to this value 82, the arithmetic mean is 19, and which is away from the maximum number of values. Okay, so now, so this is highly affected by the some abnormal values. Now second demerit is the loss of even a single observation makes it impossible to compute the arithmetic mean correctly. Okay, so in the above example, if we neglect the single value 82, then there will be change in arithmetic mean. So loss of single values affects on the calculation of arithmetic mean. So we know that the merit of the arithmetic mean is calculated by using all values or all observations of the given data. So therefore the loss of even a single observation of the given data, the arithmetic mean make a difference. Now next is weighted arithmetic mean is superior to the arithmetic mean. So this is one type of note. So weighted arithmetic mean is superior to the arithmetic mean. So instead of calculating simple arithmetic mean, the calculation of weighted arithmetic mean, it gives a very much exact or correct answer for the given data. Okay, since it is defined on the similar line and its merits and demerits are same as the arithmetic mean. So if we consider the merits and demerits of the weighted arithmetic mean, here the merits and demerits of weighted arithmetic mean are similar to the merits and demerits of arithmetic mean. Merits and demerits of arithmetic mean. Both these means are most widely used measures of central tendencies. So हे जे दोन मीन आहेत अरिथमेटिक मीन आणि वेटेड अरिथमेटिक मीन हेच मॅक्झिमम वापरले जातात कशासाठी फॉर मेजर्स ऑफ सेंट्रल टेंडन्सी. ओके, merits of the mode. Now we see the merits of mode of the given data. So we know that how to find mode of the given data. So mode of order. So can we recall the definition of mode of the given data? Yes, mode of the given data is nothing but the observation which appears maximum times in the given data. That is very simple definition of mode of the given data. So once again, the observation which appears maximum times in the given data is called as the mode. That observation is called as mode. In other words, the mode of the given data is the observation which has maximum frequency. Okay, the observation which has maximum frequency, it is called as a mode of the given data. So this mode has some positive points and some negative points. So positive points are called as the merits of that mode and the negative points are called as demerits of the mode. So first of all, we see the positive points means merits of the mode. So first merit means first positive point is the logic behind its computation is easily understood. It can be easily computed. So very simple, the logic behind the computation of mode is very simple and it is easily understood and it can be easily computed. जे मोड काढणं हे एकदम सोपी गोष्ट आहे, कॉम्प्युटेशन पण सोपं आहे त्याचं. तर याच्या पाठीमागे जे लेक्चर झाले त्याच्यामध्ये आपण पाहिलेलं आहे कसा मोड फाइंड आउट करायचा तो. ओके. इवन व्हेन सम ऑफ द एक्स्ट्रीम व्हॅल्यूज आर मिसिंग इट कॅन बी कम्प्युटेड. आता मोड काढताना दिलेल्या डेटामध्ये काय व्हॅल्यू मिस झाल्या तरीसुद्धा आपल्याला मोड काढता येतो. इथे लक्षात. म्हणजे समजा एक डेटा आहे 1 2 3 4 5 असे ऑब्झर्वेशन्स आहेत आणि त्यांच्या करस्पॉन्डिंग फ्रिक्वेन्सीज दिलेल्या आहेत. समजा 1ची फ्रिक्वेन्सी 1, 2ची फ्रिक्वेन्सी 2, 3ची फ्रिक्वेन्सी 3, 4ची फ्रिक्वेन्सी 4, 5ची फ्रिक्वेन्सी 5 आहे. अशा फ्रिक्वेन्सीज पण सेमच आहेत. ओके. देन इफ वी लूज फर्स्ट 3 ऑब्झर्वेशन्स then also we can find the mode, and mode of this observation is 5. Okay, so there is no effect on the mode of the given data by missing of the observation. If we miss some observations, then there is no change in mode of the given data. Okay, काही ऑब्झर्वेशन आपण जर मिस केली मोड काढताना तर त्या मोडवरती काही परिणाम होत नाही. ओके, सो दिस इज द सेकंड मेरिट ऑफ द मोड. नाउ थर्ड इज इट इज नॉट अफेक्टेड बाय ॲबनॉर्मल एक्स्ट्रीम व्हॅल्यूज. म्हणजे एखादी ॲबनॉर्मल व्हॅल्यू असेल आणि ती मिस केली तर त्याचं मोडवरती काही परिणाम होत नाही. It can be graphically found out. It can be graphically found out. Means by drawing the graph, we can easily find out mode. So in the next lecture, we will see how to find mode by using graphs. There are two types of graphs. First is histogram and second is Ogilvy curves. So by using these two type of graphs, we will see that how to find mode or how to find averages by using graphical method. Demerits of the mode. So some negative points about the mode. So first is it is not directly based on all the values. So very simple. So mode is not based on the all values. So mode is nothing but an observation having maximum frequency. ज्या ऑब्झर्वेशनची फ्रिक्वेन्सी मॅक्झिमम आहे ते ऑब्झर्वेशन म्हणजे मोड. याच्यामध्ये बाकीच्या ऑब्झर्वेशनचं याला काही घेणं देणं नाही. म्हणजे बाकीच्या ऑब्झर्वेशनचं काही इथं संबंध येत नाही. सो इट इज नॉट ॲज स्टेबल ॲज द अरिथमेटिक मीन. जसं अरिथमेटिक मीनची जशी रिजिड डेफिनेशन आहे तशी याची डेफिनेशन रिजिड नाही. म्हणजे कसं की इट इज नॉट स्टेबल. ओके. So some data has mode, some data has no mode. If we have given data, that data sometimes has no mode. Okay. Next is in some cases it is ill-defined. Okay. So if we have a data of 5 observations and each observation has a frequency 2. In this case, this data has no mode because there is no number which occurs with maximum frequency. Okay, that's why in this case it is ill-defined. It is not defined. Ill-defined means not defined. In some examples, mode is not defined. Now, merits of the median. Merits of the median. So we see some positive points about the median. The logic behind its computation is easily understood. It can be easily computed. So first of all, we see the what is definition of median. So median is nothing but for a given data, if we arrange the given data in either in increasing order or in a decreasing order, or suppose we arrange the given data in increasing order, then the mode of this data is nothing but the value which occurs at the center of the given data, or the value of the given data which occurs at exact middle of the given data. So therefore the logic behind its computation is easily understood. म्हणजे मीडियन कसा कॅल्क्युलेट करायचा याचं जे लॉजिक आहे दॅट इज व्हेरी सिम्पल. ते इट इज व्हेरी सिम्पल अँड वी कॅन अंडरस्टूड इट व्हेरी इझिली. जस्ट दिलेला डेटा हा इन्क्रीजिंग ऑर्डरने अरेंज करून घ्या आणि त्या इन्क्रीजिंग ऑर्डरने अरेंज करून घेतल्यानंतर त्याच्या मधोमध डेटाच्या मध्यभागी जी संख्या येते ती संख्या म्हणजे त्या डेटाचा मीडियन असतो. बरोबर. म्हणजे 50% व्हॅल्यू ह्या मीडियनच्या खाली असतात आणि 50% व्हॅल्यूज ह्या मीडियनच्या वरती असतात. ओके. तर अशा पद्धतीनं हा मीडियन असतो. मीडियन मीन्स the exact middle value of the given data. That is the so logic behind the computation is easily understood and it can be easily computed. Easily calculate करता येतो. Even when some of the extreme values are missing, it can be computed. So median आपल्याला एक्झॅक्ट मिडल व्हॅल्यू घ्यायची आहे. त्याचं शेवटचे 2-3 व्हॅल्यू काढल्या आणि काढल्यानंतर काढता येणार नाही मीडियन असं नाही होत. तो काढता येतो आपल्याला. तरीसुद्धा मीडियन काढता येतो. मीडियन वेगळा असेल परंतु मीडियन इज नॉट अफेक्टेड ऑन ओके. मीडियन इज so even when some of the extreme values are missing, in this case also we can find the median. It is not affected by abnormal extreme values. Abnormal extreme values जर असतील तर त्याचा इफेक्ट हा मीडियनवरती होत नाही. if we remove the abnormal values, then there will be no change in the median. It can be graphically found out, means by drawing the graph as we have previously discussed about graphical representation. So if we represent a given data in graphically, then on that graph we can locate median of the given data. Median means exact middle value of the given data. So now we see some demerits. Now we see some demerits of the median, some negative points. So first is it is not directly based on all the values. So median is not directly based on all the values. It is not based on all the values. It is just a middle value of the given data. Okay. So मग काही व्हॅल्यू आता समजा तुम्ही शेवटचे 2 व्हॅल्यू चेंज करा. म्हणजे कशा समजा चेंज करा की 99 आणि 100 असतील तर त्याच्याऐवजी तुम्ही 101 आणि 102 घ्या. याचा मिडल व्हॅल्यूशी काही संबंध येत नाही. हे दिले व्हॅल्यू चेंज केल्यामुळे तुमचा मीडियन इकडे चेंज होईल असं होत नाही. मीडियन तोच राहणार. फक्त मीडियनच्या कॅल्क्युलेशनवरती आणि त्या शेवटच्या 2 व्हॅल्यूज आहेत न्यूमेरिक आणि त्यांच्या न्यूमेरिकल व्हॅल्यूचा आणि मीडियनचा काही संबंध येत नाही. ओके, इट इज नॉट डायरेक्टली बेस्ड ऑन ऑल दी व्हॅल्यूज. सगळ्या व्हॅल्यूवर ते अवलंबून नाही. ओके, इट इज नॉट ॲज स्टेबल ॲज द अरिथमेटिक मीन. म्हणजे अरिथमेटिक मीनची जशी रिजिड डेफिनेशन आहे तसा हा स्टेबल नाही. म्हणजे इट हॅज some problems. While finding median we may face some problems. Okay, so it has no rigid definition. So it has no rigid formula also to find the median. Now third demerit is, in some cases it is ill defined. In some cases it is not defined. So in some cases median is not defined. Note, the merits and demerits of the median are same as those of the mode. So as we have seen, the merits and demerits of the mode and median are same. Now we see merits असा शब्द पाहिजे. merits, yes, MERITS. So here is I think a spelling mistake. So the merits of quartiles. So first of all we define what are the quartiles. So quartiles are the values of the given data which divides given data into 4 equal parts. Therefore there are 3 quartiles, namely Q1, Q2 and Q3, which divides given data into 4 equal parts. So we know that out of these 3 quartiles, Q1, Q2 and Q3, Q2 is nothing but the median of the whole data. Q2 is nothing but the median of the given data, and Q2 appears at the center of the given data. Q2 appears at the center of the given data. Therefore Q2 is also known as median of the given data. Okay, and remaining 2 quartiles means Q1 is nothing but the median of first half of the given data, and Q3 is nothing but the median of the second half of the given data. Okay, so median divides the given data into 2 halves. Okay, so Q1 is nothing but median of first half and Q3 is nothing but median of second half. Okay, so all these Q1, Q2 and Q3, all they are the medians. Okay, but Q1 is median of Q2 is median of whole data, Q1 is median of first half of the given data, and Q3 is nothing but median of second half of given data. So first merit of the quartile is, unlike the other averages which focus only on one central value, the quartiles gives a group of central values which classify the data into 4 subparts. And second merit of the given data is, in fact, the quartiles gives us the median of the entire data Q2 as well as the medians Q1 and Q3 of both the subsections of the data. This information is very useful when the population is spread out over a large variety of objects. Now, demerits of the quartiles. Since the quartiles are based on the concept of median, they inherit all the demerits of the median. So as we have seen, the all quartiles are nothing but the median of some data. Therefore, the demerits of all these quartiles or demerits of quartiles are the same as that of the demerits of median. The merits and demerits of all other partition values means all other partitions, deciles and percentiles are similar to the quartiles. Now we discuss about the histogram and Ogive curve. We learned how to find various averages using appropriate formulae applied to the data value, and we will now learn to locate some of the averages from the graphical representation of the data. So by using graph of the given data, by using graphical representation, we can represent some averages on the graph of the given data. We will be doing so with the help of histogram and Ogive curve. So in the next lecture, we will learn about how to draw histogram for the given statistical data and how to draw Ogive curve for a given statistical data, and if we draw histogram, then how to find mean mode median and how to find mean mode median on Ogive curve, that we will see in the next lecture. So for any queries, you can contact me on these contact information. And for today's lecture, we stop here. Our lecture is over. Thank you very much.